Good evening, everyone. Is this thing working? Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. Well, welcome here, everyone. Thank you for taking your time and showing an interest in this work over on the other side of the world. Let's start with singing. In your black books, turn to number 535. 535. Is that better? Good thing I'm not the quietest person around. So I think all of you are fully aware of what we're here tonight. Was Ken and his wife
Matthew Wall, me, and Ben and Maria Entz from Manitoba that went to Sierra Leone, which is a country in Africa, a few weeks ago. And basically, the Bible has 4 gospels. We have 4 presentations of the same thing. So you get to hear the gospel from 4 different views, and you'll get to hear this from 4 different views. Some of us will focus on certain things more than others. So it'll be, I'm going to go first, and then Matthew's going to go, then Kenton, and then we have just a written report from Ben. So, and then I think the live stream for all you brothers and sisters out there, just want to say hello, especially to Ben and Maria if you guys are out there in Manitoba. I just wanted to start off with a scripture verse here. It's a very familiar scripture verse to us all. Matthew 28, starting in verse 18. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. Lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. So I thought that was, we could pick on some different verses that talk about maybe a little bit more. This is talking about missionary work, but the thing that I really like here in this verse is teaching them to observe all things. And we found that was one thing that was really lacking in this country. There was some Christianity there, but you know what? Before I get too much into talking, I think I'm just going to go into the presentation here. And I've got some facts to begin with here. So if this looks kind of all messed up, it's because we tried to put this together. A lot of it was this evening, so we're just going to try and see how this works. Just bear with us here. Actually, I need both my hands. Can I have the cordless mic? Okay, I will try my best with this one then. Let me try this. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, in case you all don't know where Sierra Leone is, so we're right here in Sierra Leone. So this is Africa. Quick geography. Most people think Africa is a country. It's a continent. So and Sierra Leone is right here. So we would have flown through Paris, France. Toronto to Paris was about 8 hours, and then Paris to Freetown right here was about, I think it was about 7 hours. So we don't land in Freetown. We actually land in Lungi Town here, which is where the airport is right here. But it's called the Freetown International Airport. So I just want to read off a few quick facts here. So Sierra Leone was the home of freed slaves in the 18th century. And that's why its capital is called Freetown. As far as mission opportunities and everything, it's a very tolerant nation, and it's a mix of Muslim and Christian and others. According to some of the searches I did, it's about 77% Muslim, 22% Christian, and 1% other. Now, some of the Muslims that we did meet, There was, it almost seemed like they were more Christian than Muslim, but it's kind of all mixed together in that country. It's very hard to distinguish what they actually are. So as I already mentioned, the capital is Freetown, which is just down from here a bit. This is the city. And just to give you I'm just going to kind of zoom here. I don't know how much detail I'll be able to get, but you can just kind of imagine what this looks like in real life. So organized chaos. So anyways, but you know what? We didn't see any homeless people there. So they got that going for them. The area is about 71,740 square kilometers of the whole country. Now that is slightly smaller than the province of New Brunswick, just to put that in perspective. So the province of New Brunswick is larger than this country. The population is about 8.6 million, and the population of Toronto is about 6.3 million. So a couple million people more than Toronto. And the languages are English and Creole. So I think everybody here knows what Creole is, right? So Creole is it is Creole English and Creole French. This would be Creole English. So the average life expectancy for men in this country is 58 years, and for women it's 61 years. So there's some quick facts for you on the country. Now, so we landed in Lungi here, and we spent our first night at a resort here. See if I can get it up to come up here. It was right here. So I don't know how do you pronounce that, Kenton? Tariq's Resort. It was pretty nice. Now let me just see here. Pretty nice for Africa anyway. So one thing I want to mention, when we landed at the airport, I got greeted by my first surprise, and that was in the form of somebody wanting a bribe. Now I feel very uncomfortable with bribes. So the discussion before the trip was the yellow fever vaccine, which I was kind of reluctant to get, but it was required for the country, and there was some back and forth on whether it was really required or not. And well, it was just said, well, you know what, you just slip them a few bucks and you're good to go. And I didn't really feel comfortable with that, so I decided to go get my vaccine. And I get to the customs officer there, and he asked me if it's my first time there, and I said yes, and I gave him all my paperwork, my visa and my secure pass and everything, and he says that I should give him a gift. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What part of my paperwork isn't in order? But so we discussed it there for a few minutes, and he didn't get what he wanted. He wanted $100, which in their money is about 2.1 million. To them, that's a lot of money. I ended up giving him $20, and he was happy with that. And then I get out of the airport, and I see a sign like this. So it's basically just saying, you know, don't take bribes. So that was my first introduction to the country, and this is the airport there in Lungi. I'll have another picture here on departure. they had a new airport that was made by Turkey, I believe, that is a modern airport, and this airport is now closed. So, oh, just hang on. Let me just stop this here. So this is at the Tariq's resort. Now, when we got there, it was nighttime, and we pretty much went to bed right away. And as I'm trying to fall asleep here, I noticed it sounded like there was gunshots going off. It was like a loud bang, and then like a tingling, and then like, oh, what was that? And all of a sudden, you hear it again, and eventually, you just get used to it, and you're like wondering, what is it? So in the morning when I got up, I heard the noise again. Then I heard Ben yell, "Is it ripe?" And then I put it together. Oh, okay, yeah, I think I know what's going on. There's mangoes falling on the tin roofs, and that's what it was. So, all right, I'll just play this video here. This is the resort. Just a circle sweep here. It did look very nice there. The food was very good and everything there, but it was also very expensive. Even by this is where sitting down here for breakfast. That is see if I can. That's Ben and Maria right there from Manitoba. This was our breakfast. So one thing you'll notice in my slideshow is I took a lot of pictures of my food because food was one thing I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was actually, this is the mango. These are the mangoes that were falling from the trees there. But yeah, as far as the food goes, I was actually very pleasantly surprised how good the food was. It was mostly rice and what they said was chicken. I didn't know any better, so I took it at that. This is just a video of basically us just driving down the road and kind of get a little view of what the roads look like. Now, the audio is not. I don't have the audio on purpose because it's just us having casual conversation, and a lot of conversation in here is with Ben anyway, and it's all in German. But you kind of get a feeling, or you kind of get a look of what things look like. Those are banana trees right there. I don't know if you can see them there. But I was very surprised at how good a lot of their main roads were. So that video was taken when we were on our way to Lunzar. Just zoom out here a bit. And Lunzar is right here. So this main road here is what we took to get to Lunzar. And let me just go. What was that, Kenton? Was it 2 hours? Yeah, that's right. So basically, I should to give you a quick rundown of the traffic laws over there. The bigger you are, the more rights you have. That's it. So, yeah, our driver cut off multiple road bikes. If he was pulling onto a road, road bike traffic didn't matter. It just mattered whether there were vehicles that were bigger than him. And most of the time, he was courteous enough to honk. That was brakes are a plus over there, but a horn is a must. If your horn doesn't work on your vehicle, you shouldn't drive. So this is the kind of the team here. This gentleman right here, his name was Shek. I think am I pronouncing that correct? And he is related to Sadu, which is the first contact that you guys had there, correct, Ken? So, and he wanted to make sure that we were good and settled in our place there. And that motel that we're at is located right over here. Right here. This is the compound where we spent most of our time The rooms were right here. Right here we had is where we had most of our fellowship and stuff like that. This is the market that is in Lunzar. So let me just zoom out here. So the market is right here. So that's kind of that one video where you'll see me turning in a circle. I'm right at this intersection right here. So, but yeah, the food there is pretty much you're gonna buy the food that you're gonna eat that day. No, there was electricity there, but it was only from 7 in the evening till 7 in the morning most of the times. If you could, let me just back this up here. If he could get an extra few minutes out of that, it seemed like he was very willing to do that. So no fridges. All your cooking is done off a charcoal stove. So if you want to make a meal, you gotta. Well, for those of you who know how to cook with a charcoal, you gotta set your flame, get your coals going, and then you can cook your food. So this is just 2 short videos here of the market. And this is this is the Fresh Mart. So anything you will be eating will be purchased here. And it might not look the greatest right here, but it was actually I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually a lot better than what I had imagined. So that was at the market there, that corner that I was telling you about. This is Sister Bethany. I think she's making rice here. It's either rice or eggs. Those are about the only 2 things that we cooked a lot of. And they had bread there. That was a lifesaver for me. My wife says I'm a carbaholic, so their bread was really good, and it was baked fresh every day. So every day you went and got what would a bag like this be worth, Ken? Would that be 2,000 each? So we got about 10. So that's 20,000. That'd be $1. About $1 right there. So, and that's just a picture of our typical meal. The beans and stuff you see in there, that was that Ben and Maria that had brought those? Yeah, so they had been there before, so they already knew to bring some canned beans for a little bit more variety. Basically, the only thing they really had there to flavor anything was this stuff they called pepe, which was like a chili powder. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. But that definitely added more flavor. And this right here, so that gentleman right there is Abraham and his family. And we had a Bible study with them. Was it the first or second evening we were there? Abraham professes to be a Muslim, but I would definitely say that just from meeting him and being around him, it definitely seemed like he had a lot of qualities of what a Christian should have. So, and the other thing that was kind of interesting there, so we were there in the month of, what was that, Ramadan? So that's when the Muslims have all their fasts, usually from sunrise to sunset. And there was Abraham here, and then there was Ali, our driver. They both professed to be Muslims, but they didn't do any of the fasting. So not too sure what to think of that. But Abraham was very helpful for us there. There were four people there. It was Abraham, Ali, and then the other driver. We had 2 vehicles, was Almami, and then we had Mahmoud, which was, I think, the contact that you guys had from last time you were there. So this is what $100 US will give you over there. That's about 2.1 million leones, and good luck having enough. It is pain the amount of cash you have to carry, literally. And cash is king over there. There is no debit, no electronic, nothing. It's everything is cash. So don't mind the blankets there. We didn't get to choose what blankets we slept on. We just hoped they were clean. Maybe that's how they try and get us to stay. I don't know. Here's another. Right now, we're traveling through some of the villages in the more remote area. We're actually right here. We're on our way to Mengi, which is the village that we were doing most of the ministering in. And you know what? I should play the audio in this one because it's kind of fun what Ben says. Funny what Ben says here because this ended up being an ongoing thing on our trip.
Building a house. I like those bricks because they're nice and cool. Those houses are cool. Don't go too fast in the village.
That right there is key.
Drive over the chickens. We have supper.
So as you could, with this other building, you'll see there's a pretty nice building coming up here. That is the mosque. You'll see up here they have the speakers for prayer call, and that was 7 o'clock every evening. That was our. I don't know if you want to call it what you want to call it, but yeah, Kenton and I both made different remarks on what the noises sounded like, but we won't share those. So basically, Ben was the how should I say it? The traffic police there. Our driver, whose name was Ali, he was a very comfortable driver, and his regular speed on the paved roads was 120 plus. So, and it's through the villages and everywhere. So Ben was constantly reminding him to slow down and respect bikes and everything, and it just went the whole time. And then it was funny. We actually switched vehicles, and Ben was in the other vehicle with the other driver, and then he gets on the radio and tells Ali to slow down. So he couldn't get away from Mr. Ben no matter what. This is the village of Mengi, where Kenton, Fred, and Ben were spent most of their time last time. We spent a few days here, and I'll just play you this short introduction here of our welcome there from the school there. Come on. Do you remember what they were saying there, Ken? Tell Papa God thank you? Okay. I knew it was English, but I couldn't remember it, and I can't hear it clear enough on here. So this is right behind that village. So Sierra Leone is, I would say it's fairly tropical. We were there right in their dry season, in the hottest season, and these are some of the fields that they were working at, and that's kind of what the village that we were just at. This is kind of behind that village. And that right there is not a field lane, it's actually a road. That's one of the main roads there, besides the paved roads that are there. Yeah, there's mountains in the background there, yeah. So this is children. I want all of you to look at this video. And I want you to pay close attention. You got your next toy right here. If anybody needs a tire, I got some. That boy, he don't need a dirt bike. Yeah, see, he squeezes the sticks together and he has a brake. Look at that. Matthew tried it too. He was a little less successful, but I think he did eventually get it to work. Yeah. So this is I tried all kinds of different fruits there. This is just a picture of one that I found really interesting. I didn't even know what it was. It looks like this before it's cut open, and then it has about 6 or 7 of these things in there, which you take out. It's full of fluid. And then you peel. There's a thin skin on there, and then you put it in your mouth and you suck on it, and it has like a really big seed in it that tastes like an apple seed. And when we were there, cashews were in season, and cashews, mangoes. I think that was it. Was papaya in yet or no? Okay. And this is a palm nut. So basically, what they do there is they have a lot of palm oil. Palm oil, from what I understood, is taken out of the. Is it out of the trunk of the tree? There is that what? Oh, is okay. So I wasn't sure what they. Oh, the palm wine. That's that stuff out of the. And I had some of that, and that was well. I don't know if anybody here knows what Vodik is, but that's what Ben called it, and I kind of agreed with him. So Vodik is the leftover water from making cheese. So we used to take it in Mexico. We would take it from the cheese factory, and we would give it to our pigs. Over here, they sell it, and the people drink it. I guess it must have some pretty good health benefits. My form of consumption will be through the pig's meat. So I think you all know what this is. It's coconut. First time I had ever had a coconut. The water was pretty good. This white stuff on the inside was, I think it was a little bit older. I really had to exercise my gag reflexes to eat that. That was not, it was very slimy. I think the ladies had some better ones. They were, I think, a little firmer, a little crunchier. But, sorry? This coconut? Okay. Well, mine was very slimy, so I got to work out my gag reflexes. So, yeah, they used that to open these for us. All right. So, I'm going to go back to Google Maps here and just kind of take you on that journey that we just saw in the pictures. So, here's Lanzar, and Mangi Village is right here. So here's that church, that school that we were at. And if we continue to go out, here are the fields that you saw us at. So, and we did go to this kind of beach here. It was really nice. So then the next few pictures that I have are of we then took a trip to Freetown, and we went to the Bible Society there and did a few things there that we needed. We needed some what they call proclaimers. There's these little audio devices that you can give to the natives there, and it has, I think they have 5 different native languages there, plus Creole, which is their main language. So we picked them up. We picked up a few of those to give out, and when we were there, we decided to go to the beach, and this is the beach that we went to right here. River Beach number 2. That was actually really nice there. And it was really nice because of the Muslim fasting and everything, the beach was totally empty and there was nobody there. We had it pretty much all to ourselves. So here you can see the mountains kind of in the background here. And then there's some construction going on. There's some buildings up in there. So, and there was a resort right there. We decided to eat there. So this platter here was it 175? 175,000? 150,000? Oh, the drink was 25,000, yeah. So it's not quite $10, 10 US dollars. Sorry? Kenton had the formula figured out. I just know that 20,000, or they were in the midst of changing their money, just to take some zeros off of it. It would have been around 20,000 would have been $1. So this was a US dollar. Yeah. So Kenton figured out a formula for the Canadian currency, which I used a few times, but I kind of just used that. I used it in multiples of 20,000, 200,000, and 2 million, like just to kind of get my bearings on where I was in the money. So there are some places over there. There is definitely some money over there. There were some really nice homes that we saw when we drove by. This one's under construction. I don't know if that's supposed to be someone's home or if it's a motel. And then the day we went to the beach, that was actually Ben's birthday. And we were teasing him that God knew exactly what Ben needed. So one of the vehicles broke down. Ben's a mechanic by trade. And it was nice. I didn't have to do anything. The tie rod broke on this thing, and it was trying to go two different ways at one time, and you get nowhere. Very, very good spiritual lesson there. And Bethany ended up finding the nut that fell off. We walked back, and it was all stripped and everything, but Ben, being the innovative guy that he was, he got that back on there, and he asked El Mami, which is right here, that's the driver of the vehicle, he asked for his belt. And he used his belt to put the tie rod back on, secure it in place. We put the wheel back on, and off we go. We're good to go. And then it was a little ways, I don't know, an hour and a half or so down the road. Ben saw some guys welding, and he just pulled in there and, hey, can I use your welder? And they were more than happy, and they ended up welding that piece on there, and that vehicle actually ended up lasting another 2 days. So I want to apologize. My pictures got kind of messed up. This was on that same day that we were in the village. This was one of the other villages that we visited. This was a school there. It was for them, it was a very modern school. You can see how the classrooms are designed here with cross flow ventilation. This school had its own solar system. It was actually really nice for them there. And there was also a teacher's quarter, is that other building you see back there. That's where the teachers were. And there were some old mud huts like that. Not a whole lot of them. Most of the homes, even in the villages, they had the tin roofs, but you did see some of those. Now, remember, the furthest I think that we went away from like the big cities and stuff would have been an hour in, which would, how many kilometers was that? Was that 15 kilometers? 15, 20 kilometers maybe? Yeah, so that it would take about an hour to drive that with the way their roads are. And this is Ali. That is one of our drivers. So this again is some food. I think that's chicken and rice, and this sauce is actually really good. One thing is their food is spicy, which I really enjoyed, and a few times I was very thankful for my spice tolerance because some of it was pretty spicy that I was told. So right here, this is we're at a place that's so in Sierra Leone they have what they call districts, and that would be our province, what we call provinces. So here we're in a different district. We're in the Bambuna district. I'm gonna zoom back out here. So now we're going way over here. And we're gonna zoom in. Am I in the right spot here? I think so. Yep. So here's the hydroelectric, the Bambuna hydroelectric power station. And we were invited here. I don't know. Are you going to share on that, Kenton, a little bit? Well, we were invited here by Kenton had a person, Carlin was his name. You met him on the flight back from Sierra Leone last time? Oh, on the way there? Okay. And there's needs for road work. This area is very mountainous. It is very, very beautiful there. It was the most beautiful part of the country that we saw, or at least that I saw. And it is one of 2 hydroelectric dams, the only hydroelectric dam that gives power all year. The other hydroelectric dam, which was that one in Lunzar or Porto Loco? In Porto Loco, that one only has power when it's the rainy season. And even this one, it's only a 50 kilowatt dam, which provides, I think it provided 2 cities. One was McKinney and the other one was Freetown. So the rest of the country just doesn't have hydro. The infrastructure is there, but there's just not enough power. And this is Daniel. That was our contact there, and he took us for a drive. This is through a few of the villages. This is in one of the hospitals, just to show us some of the needs that were there. This is the outside of the hospital. Here we're, just to give you kind of, I know this picture doesn't do it justice, but here's a little video of the struggles our vehicles had getting to these little villages in this mountainous terrain. So he's literally trying to climb a mountain here. This is, you can't tell how steep it is by the video, but so that was actually, I think, my favorite day. That was a lot of adventure. I really enjoyed that. I was a little bit skeptical at first about the venture over to Bambuna, to the dam there, but I'll say that was probably the highlight of the trip. I really enjoyed it. This was another hospital that was very remote, there was one nurse here that was taking care of everything. And they were in desperate needs of more helping hands. And obviously, I don't think you could ever bring enough money to that country. There's needs everywhere. This was quite a few. 2 of the villages that we visited gave us a meal, and this was one of the meals that we ate. So that's chicken, and at least I think it's chicken, rice, and some hot peppers. I think this was the spiciest meal that we had, correct? Yeah, it was also the muddiest. You could, if you have any issues with eating dirt, you shouldn't eat this. But it was still had